The campus was a symphony of chaos, a sea of faces and backpacks. Flex, a lanky young man with wide, apprehensive eyes, felt like a small boat lost at sea. His oversized backpack, crammed with textbooks and anxieties, dug into his shoulders. He clutched his clearance documents, feeling a wave of panic rise in his chest. "Where in the world is the clearance office?" he muttered, scanning the map on his phone, the bright screen reflecting in his nervous eyes. Just as he was about to succumb to despair. "Hey, you look lost. I'm Jayden. Let me show you around. You look new here. Are you a fresher?" Jayden, a tall guy with kind eyes and a comforting aura, offered a hand, and Flex felt an instant sense of relief wash over him. "I'm so lost. I don't even know where to go for clearance," Flex blurted out, the weight of his backpack suddenly feeling heavier. "Don't worry, I'll help you," Jayden reassured him. "You're more than welcome to stay at my place for a while until you find your own. It's just a short walk from here." Jayden, with a practiced ease, guided Flex through the maze of buildings, leading him to the designated office. He explained the process, patiently answering Flex's questions, making him feel less overwhelmed. Jayden's apartment was a haven of warmth and comfort. Sunbeams danced through the windows, illuminating a cozy living room, filled with bookshelves and the scent of freshly brewed coffee. Jayden, a natural host, set about making Flex feel at home. He offered him a warm shower, and as Flex emerged, a towel wrapped around his damp hair. The aroma of a delicious meal wafted from the kitchen. "I know it's a lot to take in, being a fresher," Jayden said, his voice soft and reassuring. "You're more than welcome to stay here for a bit. I'm a pretty good cook, so you're in for a treat." Flex was touched by Jayden's kindness. He couldn't believe how welcoming and supportive this stranger was. "Really, thank you so much," he exclaimed, his voice a mix of gratitude and disbelief. As Jayden whisked up a pasta dish, they chatted, getting to know each other. Flex spoke of his hopes and fears about university life, and Jayden listened intently, offering encouragement and advice. Flex's clearance seemed to be an endless cycle of paperwork and queues. He found himself standing in line for hours, his patience wearing thin. The university seemed like a labyrinth, and the sheer amount of information he needed to absorb was overwhelming. He missed the comfort of his familiar home, the warm embrace of his family. Jayden, though busy with his own studies, checked in on Flex periodically. He would drop by Flex's room, offering a smile and a word of encouragement. He knew what it felt like to be a new student, lost and confused. So, he was determined to make Flex's experience a little easier. "How's the clearance going?" Jayden would ask, his voice always bright and cheerful. "It's taking forever," Flex would sigh, his frustration evident. "So much paperwork, so many queues." Jayden, understanding his anxieties, would say, "Don't worry, Flex, take your time, it'll all work out." He'd guide him through the process, explaining each step, making sure Flex didn't feel alone in this unfamiliar world. Evening descended, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Jayden, engrossed in his textbooks, couldn't help but glance at the clock every few minutes. Flex had been gone for hours, and he was starting to worry. He'd promised to check in, but there was no word from him. He put down his books and paced around his apartment, feeling a knot of anxiety tighten in his chest. He imagined Flex lost in the city, overwhelmed and alone. He finally couldn't bear the uncertainty any longer, and grabbed his jacket, heading out. As he approached the apartment building, he saw Flex walking towards the entrance, his shoulders slumped, a weary expression on his face. Relief flooded Jayden, and he rushed to meet him. "Flex, where were you? I was worried sick." "It's almost 7 p.m., Jayden said, concern lacing his voice. Flex, surprised by Jayden's worrying, tried to smile. "Sorry, there was a huge queue at the bank, and I wanted to get some studying done too. You should have called me. I was so worried," Jayden insisted, his brow furrowed with concern. Flex, feeling a pang of guilt, apologized again. He was exhausted from the day's ordeal, but Jayden's worrying, so genuine and unexpected, touched him deeply. It was a stark contrast to his previous experiences, where people rarely seemed to care. Jayden, understanding Flex's exhaustion, ushered him inside. He prepared a quick, comforting meal, a steaming bowl of pasta with his signature cheesy sauce. While Flex ate, Jayden listened patiently as Flex recounted his day. his frustrations, and his anxieties. Later that night, as Flex lay in bed, his mind still racing from the day's events, he felt a chill run through his body. Jayden, sensing his discomfort, pulled a blanket over him, tucking it in snugly. He then sat beside Flex on the bed, his warmth radiating through the thin fabric. "You're freezing," Jayden murmured, his voice soft and soothing. Flex, feeling safe and cared for in a way he'd never felt before, leaned into Jayden's warmth. 2 months later, a sense of comfort and routine had settled into Jayden's apartment. The once overwhelmed fresher was now a confident student, navigating his studies with growing ease. His clearance, a source of initial anxiety, was finally complete. One morning, bathed in the soft glow of the rising sun, Flex sat across from Jayden at the kitchen table, watching him make breakfast. A gentle smile played on his lips as he observed the way Jayden moved about the kitchen, a practiced ease in his movements. Right after Jayden's was done, he carried Flex and threw him on the bed, bounced on him, and they began hitting themselves with pillow. They were all having fun until Flex paused and looked Jayden in the eyes and said, "Jayden, I'm leaving tomorrow. I can't believe it's been 2 months already." Flex said, a trace of sadness in his voice. "I know," Jayden replied, his eyes warm with understanding. "Time flies when you're having fun." Flex paused, his heart heavy. "You've been so amazing to me. I don't know what I would have done without you." Jayden smiled back, his kindness genuine and comforting. "It's been my pleasure, Flex. I'm glad you're finally done with your clearance." He went on to say, "I'll miss you, but I'm glad you're getting settled. Make sure to call me when you get home, okay?" The university campus was abuzz with activity, students rushing to classes, the air thick with anticipation. Jayden, happy to see Flex's confidence and ease, helped him organize his final files. "All right, Flex, that's the last of it. You're officially done," Jayden said, his voice filled with pride. Flex, relieved and excited, replied, "Yeah, finally, I'm so relieved." "What are your plans now? When are you heading back home?" Jayden asked, a mixture of curiosity and concern lacing his voice. Flex, his gaze lingering on Jayden, said, "I'm catching the bus tomorrow night, but ... He paused, his heart pounding in his chest, a mixture of nerves and anticipation making him feel unsteady. Evening had fallen, and twilight cast long shadows across Jayden's apartment. Jayden, relaxing with a book, noticed Flex's restlessness. He could see the tension in Flex's shoulders and a hint of sadness in his eyes. "Everything okay, Flex?" Jayden asked, concern creeping into his voice. I really appreciate everything you've done for me," Flex began, his voice hesitant. "You've been so kind and caring. You've been a true friend," Flex said, his voice catching. He hesitated, the weight of his unspoken feelings pressing down on him. I think I'm falling for you." Jayden, startled by the unexpected confession, set down his book. Flex, his heart pounding, leaned in, his eyes fixed on Jayden's. He was ready to confess his feelings, to take a chance, to bridge the gap that had been forming between them. But before their lips could meet, Jayden gently pulled back. A wave of confusion washed over Flex. He watched as Jayden took a deep breath, his eyes filled with a mix of concern and compassion. "Flex, I care about you deeply, but I'm not gay. I'm a Christian, and I believe in loving everyone, regardless of their sexuality." Flex, heart sinking, his mind struggling to process what he was hearing, whispered, "But you've been so, I thought ... So, why all those kindness and love you showed me? You took me in despite I was a stranger to you. You feed me without requesting anything from me, and you wouldn't accept any money from me. While I was cold, you covered me up and cuddled me. You even went so far to wash my clothes and iron them, escorted me to school, helped me with my clearance, and made my days filled with fun and laughter. I thought you did all these cause you were attracted to me ... like you have an affection for me ... Jayden, sensing Flex's pain, reached out and gently touched his arm. "I know, Flex. I think the world has confused love and lust. Love is about caring, supporting, and being there for others. not just physical attraction. I've always been taught to treat everyone with kindness and compassion. Flex, his eyes filled with a mixture of hurt and understanding, said, I don't know what to say. I've never been treated this way before. Jayden, his voice soft and understanding, said, I understand. Flex, I'm sorry if I've given you the wrong impression, but I truly care about you. I want you to be happy, and I want to be a good friend to you. Flex, his heart heavy, said, I don't know what to think. I've never really thought about love like that before. You've opened my eyes to something else, I guess. Jayden, smiling warmly, said, It's okay to be confused, Flex. Love is complicated. I'm glad that I could help you, and I'm glad that you're finally getting settled. The next evening, the bus station was bustling with activity. Flex, his backpack slung over his shoulder, stood beside Jayden. His heart was heavy with sadness, but there was also a sense of peace in his heart. He had discovered a different kind of love, a love that transcended physical attraction. He was grateful for Jayden's friendship, for the kindness that had opened his eyes to a world of possibilities. I'm going to miss you, Jayden, Flex said, his voice a little shaky. I'll miss you too, Flex, Jayden replied, his eyes filled with warmth. Don't forget to call me when you get home. Flex, with a smile, assured him, I will. I'll never forget what you've done for me. I'm glad you're leaving with a sense of peace and understanding, Jayden said, his heart filled with a mix of sadness and joy. Flex, his eyes brimming with emotion, hugged Jayden tightly before stepping onto the bus. As the bus pulled away, Jayden stood there, waving goodbye, a bittersweet smile on his face. A few days later, sitting in his apartment, Jayden reflected on his time with Flex. A sense of peace settled over him. He knew that he had shown Flex a different kind of love, a love that was not defined by societal norms or expectations. He smiled to himself, feeling a sense of contentment. The world needed more of that kind of love, the kind that embraced everyone without attaching lust. He reached out to his Bible and began reading.